name's Clement Pepe. I'm a success coach. I wanted to talk today about action, and action that is effective in what it is that we want to create out there in our lives, and then to generate that action to create the results that we want in our lives. And again, we talk about goals, we talk about things that we want. We can use a lot of different words for that, but it's something we need to have in our minds about what it is do we want to create in those areas of our lives that are important to us. And there's certain areas of our lives, I think, that it should be all important to all of us, really. One of them is our spiritual walk. We should be much closer to whatever it is that we believe and what we want to create in our spiritual walk. Our financial aspect of life. We want to be able to create and generate a comfortable lifestyle so that we are not struggling in regards to our finances. We want to create a great relationship. And by the way, this doesn't mean this is all in this order. It's just the way that it's coming up now. They're all intertwined, really. It's like the legs of a chair. You need to have all those legs to be solid in order for the chair to stand and be able to sit on that chair. And so our relationship, again, is a very important part, whether it be a marriage or relationship in that regard, a family relationship, children, parents, anyone that we consider a relationship. That's another aspect of it. Community involvement, being involved in the community out there in the world, to making a difference to what it is that we feel is important out there in the world, to be able to share that with others and make that difference. And then there's a lot of different other ones that health and fitness, we'll say, the aspect of our mental and feeding ourselves mentally and getting more knowledge as we go along, etc. So those are all areas that we really want to focus on and have goals that we want to attain in those areas. So there's something, though, that a lot of times stops us or slows us down from either having the goals or taking the actions on the goals. And today I want to talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to use an analogy. And the analogy that I'm going to use is a train. So I want to use the two cars of the train, the car that's on the front of the train, which runs the train, and that's called the engine or the locomotive. And then I wanted to talk about the car that's at the end of the train, and that's called the caboose. Now, there's a lot of cars in between the train, the cars between the engine and the caboose, but I want to talk about those two particular cars right now. So the engine basically is the vehicle by which everything else runs. Without the engine, no part of that train is going to run. The engine is what pulls it. So let's say it's going in this direction, the train. So the engine needs to be going, and then when that engine is going, the rest of the train is going to follow. And so the engine goes, the train follows. The engine stops, the train stops. But let's say that we're going to be a little shrewd here, we'll say, or I'm not so shrewd is a good word, but let's say that we decided we were going to take the engine, stop the engine, and put the caboose in front of the engine. Now, would the train go if we stopped the engine and put the caboose in front of the engine? No, it would stop. It would not go anywhere. As much as you wanted it to, as much as you'd like it to, it's not. It's going to stay right where it is because the engine is the only one that has the capability of making that train run. Well, let's say that we put this train all back together again. We got the engine here, we got the caboose here. But let's say that we're going to name that engine something different. We're going to name the engine either our actions or our ways of creating things that we want to create out there in the world. So that's going to be the engine, or it could be called the behavior. So behavior or the action. And let's say we're going to name the caboose our feelings. Okay, so we've got the behavior or actions, and we have the feelings. So as the train goes, the engine goes, the caboose goes, same goes with our behavior and our actions. As our behavior and actions move, then the feelings will follow. So as you're doing what you're doing, creating what you're creating, making things happen that you want to have, the feelings are going to follow. But just like if we create the caboose to go in front of the engine of the train, it'll stop the train. Well, the same happens if we put our feelings in front of our actions. All of a sudden, those actions will stop, or they'll slow down drastically, or they'll go in the opposite direction sometime. And so our feelings, even though we seem to think they're so important to us, they're really not. They're a hindrance to us because, again, they are changing the aspect of the amount of ability to get to where you want to go, because those feelings are now sort of like running the show. And most times when our feelings are there, we're not doing it. Let's say we have a goal that we want to will create, and we know that we need to take this goal or this action. But then all of a sudden we put our feelings, oh God, I'm kind of tired, or maybe I shouldn't do that, or what if that I'm going to get rejected, or oh, I don't know, that might not work. So all of a sudden now those feelings are in front. Everything stops. Just like when the caboose is in front of the engine, everything stops. It's no different with life. When we put our feelings in front of the actions stop. And so we, human beings, have to take our train, if you will, and keep the action or behavior such that they keep making the feelings follow. So as you start taking action, let's say you want to exercise. We'll say, I love to use the example of exercise because everybody is in that process in some way, shape, or form. You've made a commitment to exercise. You want to exercise. You know you should exercise. Some aspect of life said that you need to do that. But if you let your feelings get in front of the behavior or action to exercise, most likely you're not going to do it. You're going to talk yourself out of it. You're going to slow it down. You're going to make excuses. And by way of saying you, I mean you, human being. This is all of us. I love to tell you I'm not in this process called human being, but I am. So we all have to really focus on keeping the feelings behind the action. And the best way to do that is Nike came up with a long time ago, that 2 words, just do it. 3 words. What I know about counting. Yes, 3 words. Just do it. Now I have 2 words to it, and those 2 words are just start. Okay, because that's the first action step. Just start. So if you have a commitment to exercise, we'll say, then you got to just start. Get it going. Get that action going, and you watch how the feelings will start to follow. You'll start feeling better about doing it. You start feeling better about creating. You start feeling more energy and generating it, because the actions are pulling the feelings rather than putting the feelings in front of the action. Nothing pulling, nothing. It's stopping us. Same with getting up in the morning when you set the alarm to get up, or you have a commitment to get up at a certain time. You're not going to feel like it. I promise you, I don't care what time you set that alarm. When that alarm goes off, most likely you're not going to feel like getting out of bed. But if you take that action and create getting out of the bed, and put your legs out on the floor, walk away from the bed, the feelings will follow. You'll get up, and then all of a sudden you're going to be in action. You're going to feel better, and you want to keep going, and you'll be glad that you did it, etc., etc. So your feelings need to always be pulled by your action. Never will your feelings pull your action, because they'll keep you in a conversation that will stop the action or slow the action down. And so our feelings, again, and feelings, just like anything else, is a dialogue that we're creating within ourselves that is either going to talk us into doing something or talk us out of it. And when we put it in front of the action, it's usually a lot talking us out of it. So our job is to continuously be in that conversation called, all right, I'm going to take this first action. I'm going to take that second action, take that third action. Whether you say just start, whether you say just do it, whether you say I'm going to do it because I said so, whatever it is that you need to call yourself up to take those actions, that's what has to happen. And you watch how great the feelings will be that you're doing to take those actions. Again, I probably just said this before. I don't ever remember a time when I decided to exercise and then I exercised and at the end of the exercise I said, well, that was stupid. Why did I bother doing that? Never once do I remember saying that. But how many times did I say I was going to exercise and then I let the feeling get in front of the action and I didn't exercise? Well, I can't count that many times. So, and it's probably with all of us, but only because we had it in the wrong direction. Now we're going to put it where it belongs, which is action, feelings, not feeling, action. So that's going to take some practice like everything else, but it starts one step at a time. And the best way to do that is just tell yourself that statement, just start. All you got to do is just make that first movement, And then that momentum will start gathering, and then you'll be taking a lot more action. So that's really what the aspect of how we're going to get ourselves to do that which is right, keeping the feelings out of it, putting the actions into it. Now, I want to attribute this to something that I think is very important to talk about today. You know, I've stayed away from or didn't talk much about the COVID-19 process or what's going on with all of that. But I think it's imperative right now that I do. And I want to equate it to what we just talked about, this train, if you will. You see, there's nothing really that's changed with regards to the disease that we're all dealing with out here, COVID-19. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is that they've given us more leeway to go out and do things out there in the world. And I have opinions about why that is and so on, but I think that some of the officials got more pressured to move faster than they really wanted to do. And I think, this is my thoughts on all of this, I think that because they are letting us go out there and letting us go to the beach and letting us go to restaurants and letting us go to these different things, that some people are thinking that, oh, it's handled. But it's not. Nothing has changed. There's no cure. There's no difference that happened 2 weeks ago that's happening today. The only thing is that we've got some more freedom out there. But with freedom comes responsibility. And we need to stay responsible. We need to keep doing what has been working for us that keeps us healthy, if you will. So there are certain protocols that says that you need to do these things. One of it, if you're going to be out there in the world, wear a mask. If you're going to be out there in the world, stay 6 feet away from people. If you're going to be out there in the world, wash your hands constantly, etc. If you're going to be out there in the world, do all these protocols that they say you need to do. And to do that is basically how you feel about that is not where you want to put the process. If you feel you shouldn't be doing it because the government can't tell me what to do, if you feel that you shouldn't do it because my constitutional rights are being accepted, I don't think that they know what they're talking about. I don't think they know that this is just a flu. All of those things, all those feelings are going to stop you or slow you down from doing what's best for you. You say, and that's what's best for you right now. Now, again, I could have a lot of opinions about what's going on, why I think it should be different and whatever, but that's my opinion. That and 75 cents, I can go out and buy a cup of coffee. That's about what it's worth. Or $4, $5 in these more money marketplaces. Now, there have been scientists out there, there have been doctors out there, there have been people who know a lot more than I do, not only in this country, but throughout the world, that says this is the way you should do it. So for me to use my opinion in all of that doesn't make any sense, because there's other aspects out there that are much more in alignment with what's going on. So I can't put my feeling, I mean, it could, but it's going to hurt me if I put my feelings in front of the actions that I really need to take, because it's going to slow me down from that. I'm going to get involved with a group of people that are in harm's way, or I'm going to do something that is not in alignment with me being healthy. And so that, for me, has to have me take those feelings, put them back where they belong, and then put the actions called going out, put a mask on, going out. I even wear gloves because I have a habit. I don't know where it comes from. As you can tell, I probably talk with my hands being Italian. So I have a habit of putting my hands to my face a lot. And so with gloves on, that keeps it away from there. And so I'm taking actions rather than what my feelings are for it. And I want to talk a little bit about the face mask thing, by the way. Now, the face mask, again, the idea of that is really, the way I understand it, again, I'm not an expert in all of this. I just do, find out what I can find out to help me get through all of what we're going through. But the face mask is really not so much to keep us well. It's really to keep other people well, is the way I understand it. Because if we have this disease, even if it's not symptoms, there is still a possibility of exchanging that with someone else. But, I thought about it this morning. I thought, based on the laws of the universe, especially the law of attraction, what I came to the conclusion was, if I wear a face mask, and I'm wearing that face mask because I say, hey, I don't want to get everybody sick or anybody sick. I want to keep people healthy. If I'm coming from that place, that's my thought, then that feeling is going to start to derive, because a thought equals a feeling. And then when that feeling that I want to have people be healthy and so on, when that feeling becomes an emotion, then that emotion rises up my vibration. And when my vibration rises up, I attract from the universe other vibrations similar to that. So if I'm coming from a place called, I want to keep people healthy, I'm also allowing the universe to render to me being healthy, you say. Even though it's not done through my wearing the mask, it's done through a much higher power called the law of attraction. And that's a natural law of the universe. So all of the things that you're being asked to do, and I being one of them being asked to do, is not to hurt us. It's to help us, if we say so. So our job is really, again, to practice what the percentages of people say is best to do, not to try and buck the system. It's almost like if you were a gambler and you were trying to pull a card for an inside straight. Inside straight is the same suit, spades will say, and you needed a jack of spades to make a straight flush. Well, the percentages of you pulling that card are very, very small. And so it wouldn't behoove you to really start looking for that card. If you're gambling, you're going to lose most of the time. Now, there may be a chance you could win, but the percentages are well in someone else's favor that they're going to win. So you don't want to operate trying to pull an inside straight, and it's the same thing with our lives. We don't want to be operating in the possibilities of not being hit by this thing or whatever, being too high, if we're not following the protocol. Let's do what we need to do and be more in alignment with being healthy and keeping other people healthy. And again, this is what's going on with this world now. I was in a meeting, and it was in London, England the other day, and luckily I didn't have to fly over there. We did it on a Zoom call, but they're experiencing the same thing. It's just no different than what we're doing here. So it's all over the place. But again, it's going to pass. We're going to get through this. Now, it isn't what, and people say, well, the world is going to be different, and the world, well, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But it isn't as much as what's going to go out there in the world that's important. It's what's going on within us. Who am I going to be when all of this is done? Who am I being now when all of this is done? And who we need to be is the most powerful be we can be. And that's the purpose of my being here with you each time that we're here together, is really giving you more tools to have you be all of who you can be, no matter what's going on out there. Because once we handle this, I promise you, something else is going to go out there in the world. I don't know what that's going to be, but life happens. And it isn't about what happens, it's about how we handle what happens. And these tools that I want to give you are helping you to handle what happens from a much more powerful place. So this is the reason that I wanted to have this conversation with you today regarding what is the most important aspect of your life, is taking the actions, having the feelings follow. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about the coaching that I do, because I want to, no sense not doing this and not doing a little commercial, you know what I'm talking about? But so Power Technology, again, we've been around since 1992. My first client came to me. And basically that coaching is predicated on three principles. One is I help people get underneath what stops them, or slow them down from having what they say they want. We then teach them how to get the most out of themselves, how to tap into the power that's already within. We don't have to go find that power somewhere. It's already within us. And three, and this is all intertwined in the program, I coach people in those areas to make sure their actions are lining up with what they say they want. When they're out, coach them back in. When they're out, coach them back in. And so one of the things I do is I offer free consultation, self-analysis, where a person can take a look and see what's working, what's not. There's no obligation. And so if you're interested, go to the website, and I have it listed on the top of this video, and let me know, and we'll contact you, and we'll set up a free introduction. We do it all through Zoom, so you don't even have to leave the comforts of your home. And or if you're interested in finding out how to become a success life business coach, then get in touch with us through ptcoachingacademy.com. And that is the academy that teaches and certifies people to be success coaches, to learn what it is that I've been teaching for 28 plus years that have had tremendous results in my clients over those 28 and a half years. And so it's a tried and true program that really helps the people to get so much more out of themselves. So if you're interested in changing careers, or interested in making more money on the side, or looking to create differences in people's lives, this is the place to find out about how to do that. Now, in conclusion, what I want to say is this again. You need to practice everything that you learn that's going to be good for you. You need to practice it. And whether we practice good things or bad things, our mind doesn't know the difference. We're gonna create those as habits. So I want you to start practicing that 2 words that when it comes time to take some action that you committed to, just start. Just get yourself to take that first step. Get yourself to take that first step. Don't put the feelings in front. If the feelings get in front, put them back where they belong. Take that action. You take that action, feelings will follow. You take the action, the results will come. You take more action, more results. Less action, less results. So we want to continuously be in action. And when you're in action, man, you feel better. When you're in action, you create better. When you're in action, you make a difference more. And so we want to be doing that more and more and more. And so practice this going forward. Look forward to seeing you next time. And until next time, live the life you love and love the life you live.